So about 6 months ago, GameStop started converting some of their normal stores into retro stores, but I went to a few of them and quickly realized these stores weren't very retro. So here today, 6 months later, I went to a few of the same GameStop Retro stores to see if things have gotten any better. And also guys, I did buy a console and some games, which I'll show you a bit later, but first, yeah, this is the first retro GameStop I went to 6 months ago, and it was not very good. There's like a total of maybe 150 games here. I mean, I even talked to the employee there, and he told me that GameStop basically advertised the whole retro thing and didn't send him any retro inventory, so he just like barely had anything, had to scrounge things together.
The way that they have advertised it, they have not sent me the inventory as they advertised it.
Well, let's go to that same GameStop now, 6 months later, here today, and take a look at what it looks like. And at first glance, you can see it actually looks a good bit better. The shelves are full, like completely full. There's even a little glass case over here on the side, which I'll show you in a little bit. But first of all, you can see a bunch of 360 games, PS3, there's Wii, Wii U, got a handful of like PS Vita and 3DS and stuff, and most of them honestly are in the old crappy cases that are disc only, so a little disappointing, but not surprising in the least bit. And also, this is a question for you. Why is 3/4 of the 360 games shown on the front here? Why are they in the crappy cases? Like, you can see Batman Arkham Asylum here without the cover art. Why are you putting these on display? Like, can't you pull out a game from down here, like the orange box with the cover art, and put it up here instead of these crappy games with no cover art? And also I saw this Paintball 2 game, which was interesting. Had no idea there was any kind of paintball video game, but we have some PS2 games here. And I have a theory about this. So if you take a closer look at this, there's like, only like 15 PS2 games, but I'd say like 2/3 of them are movie tie-in games between, Shrek the Third, Shark Tale, Monsters Inc., Open Season, we got Treasure Planet, Indiana Jones, Hulk, Over the Hedge, and they just keep going on. And that actually kind of ties into some of the games I bought here. Let me go ahead and just show you a couple. I actually bought The Cat in the Hat and Over the Hedge here. Now, I'm a big fan of movie tie-in games, especially on the PS2 era. I played things like Cars, The Incredibles, Madagascar. I had a lot of fun with those games. You can take a look at these, and my theory here, like I was mentioning, each of these games I opened up were in nice condition. Like, you open it up and you see the manuals in there. The cover art's in nice condition, except for, of course, the GameStop sticker they slap on there. Same with this one, pretty nice condition. Got the disc in here. You've got your manual as well as the PC manual. Not quite sure why that's in there. I almost wonder if one person came in and sold their entire PS2 collection and just had a bunch of movie tie-in games. But let's go ahead and take a look at these discs, because I couldn't see those because they don't show you those until they put them in the case when you leave. And oh, actually that's pretty rough. And then these are not great. This one's a little bit better. But yeah, these are the two games I bought. And I guess we can go ahead and do a little price comparison here since I have these pulled up. But if you search Over the Hedge, you can see I paid $8 for this, and it looks like complete price market value is $7.58, so that's about right. And then also paid $8 for Cat in the Hat, and when you look here, it's $9.90 for complete price. So I actually got that for about $2 off of market value. So there you go. Not bad prices there. But let's keep scrolling through here, and you can see we also have a bunch of PS3 games down here. This picture's a little bit blurry, but you can see there's a whole lot more PS3 games than there were in my last experience here. Got stuff like Fallout 3, The Evil Within, big mix of stuff. There's a little bit more cover art, I'd say, or cover art games with the PS3 than there were for 360, I'd say. Also, of course, some Wii U, got some Wii games down here. And the interesting part, again, is that they're showing like Cars games up here. Yet on the shelf down here, you can see they have Mario Kart. What is that? Mario Sports Mix, I think. Both those games are worth like $30+, I think. And I even noticed later they even have a Wii Sports over here in the full long boy case, like not the little tiny one, the real Wii case, the Wii Sports, which is a fairly rare version, not rare, but rarer. So like, why are those games not on the front display shelf instead of Angry Birds Trilogy? I don't quite understand. Then up here we got some actually Dreamcast games, which is kind of cool to see. Also got a handful of 3DS games down here, and nothing too crazy. What I liked the most was the fact that we have two PS Vita games, and one of them is Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified, and it's got some custom cover art. It's got the pew pew and everything. And guys, the saddest part about this is I tried to buy this game. I took it to the counter, and I was waiting there for about 10 minutes because the guy was behind the counter looking for the game, and eventually came back all sad like, yeah, I couldn't find it. So I don't know what happened to that game, but I unfortunately did not buy that one. And then guys, here is the glass case, which is pretty interesting. There's some strange stuff in here, which I'll show you. So first of all, a PS3 Slim, which is for $120, that's, I don't know, fairly normal, a decent price. This one is questionable. There's a 3DS, and I'm like 95% sure that's just an OG 3DS. It's not a 3DS XL or anything. Why is that $220? That's like double market value, unless 3DS prices went up recently. And then further down in the case, we have some Sega Saturn games, which is cool to see. A $55 X-Men game. Let me look up that price. So here it is for $48 loose, and they are selling it for $55, so pretty accurate. That's not bad. And scrolling through, also got Paper Mario: The Thousand Door for GameCube, and I think that price is right about where it should be. And you can also see as I'm scrolling through here, there's a lot of these limited run games, which I frankly just don't really care about. Also got one Super Nintendo game, one NES game, and this is weird. It's classified as is. I don't know if they just didn't test it or if it's broken or what, but that was kind of strange to have a random game as is, but all right. But yeah, that's it for the first store, and actually one more thing I bought from the first store here, and that's the Bigs here, which is cool because it's in a Hollywood Video case. You guys remember Hollywood Video, kind of like Blockbuster, but that was kind of cool to see. So I bought this game, and let's take a look at how it looks on the back, and yeah, not bad. It's a PS3 game, so not too surprising. It looks good. All right, guys, so coming in here with hot breaking news. So you can see I bought the Bigs here, you know, the singular, the Bigs, but you open it up, and you can see our disc here is the Bigs 2. So they they put the wrong disc inside when I was checking out, which is just awesome. Now the Bigs 2 is actually more valuable, so that works out in terms of pure value, but like, come on, man, give me the right game. What is going on here? But guys, next up I'll show you the second GameStop we went to, which fortunately was only about 45 minutes away, but you know, if you wanted to hop in a plane and fly over to Italy and go to a GameStop in Italy, we could. And you might think, well, now you're in a new country with a phone that doesn't work anymore, so how are you going to get directions to this supposed GameStop in Italy? Well, let me explain how with Saily, who is a sponsor of today's video. So Saily is a simple eSIM app that helps you stay connected in over 200 places around the world. Now, in case you don't know what an eSIM is, it's essentially a digital SIM card that works without having to put a physical SIM inside your phone. Sounds kind of complicated, right? Wrong. I did the entire process on my phone, from downloading the app to selecting an eSIM to buying an eSIM. By the way, use my code JROB at checkout for a 15% discount, to installing the eSIM and finally testing the service on my phone in only 3.5 minutes. Oh, and by the way, Saily also offers other features with their eSIMs, like the ability to choose a virtual location to encrypt your traffic, an ad blocker to, well, block your ads, and of course web protection to block access to potentially dangerous websites. So guys, if you're traveling and you want to make sure you have internet access, make sure to check out Saily using the link down below or QR code on the screen, and use my code JROB at checkout for a 15% discount. But guys, let's move on and let me show you the second GameStop we went to. So 6 months ago, this is what the second retro GameStop looks like. You can see here, it's very similar to the first one, where there's just not that much. There's like half the section is made of 360 games, then there's a decent amount of PS3, and then there's just some like random Wii U and Wii games and stuff, so not much at all. I don't think there were any cartridges. There might have been some cartridges hidden somewhere behind the counter or something. I don't remember exactly, but just not much. And this is what it looks like today, and honestly, arguably worse at first glance. You can just see here, first of all, it's actually in a different section of the store now, which is interesting. I guess they just rearranged. But yeah, you can see that they still, like, I don't know, a third of the section is made up of 360 games. They still got some PS3 games, some Wii and Wii U games, but really, dude, just not that much. And they're doing the same thing here, where they show a bunch of the blank cases on the front instead of the ones with cover art. So like, what in the world, man? Scrolling to the next photo here, you can see a bit more zoomed in. They even have a lot of just like sports games as well, which is not very valuable. Most of these games are pretty low value. You got GTA 4, GTA 5 for $5. That's actually amazing. That's going for $5 now. And then just some random PS3 games. Again, nothing crazy. We got Deadly, I've never even seen this before. Deadly Premonition, $40. That's interesting. Let me compare that to the starting price. All right, so complete, that's $53. I don't actually know if this is complete because I don't know if the manual's in there, but $40, that seems like a pretty solid deal if the manual's actually in there. And also going down here, you can see there's a handful of additional PS3 games and stuff, and also some PS2 games, but their PS2 selection is not anywhere near as good as the first GameStop I showed you. You can see most of these games are sports games. You've got, again, another Shark Tale tie-in game. You got The Sims, Prince of Persia, but yeah, not a whole lot going on there. Then over here on the Wii side, there are a decent number of Wii games, but again, just like Jeopardy, Deal or No Deal, Just Dance Kids, Ghost Squad, and then just a handful of Wii U games. Got Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Amazing Spider-Man. We got Mario Kart 8, Mario Tennis, Ultra Smash, and again, just, yeah, not that much. We got the lone DS game down here, and I don't believe they had anything in the back, but they did have this glass case, which has some actually more like retro stuff than the last GameStop had. You can see there's actually 3 N64 games up here, one NES game up here, and Final Fantasy. Not listed as is, so I guess that one's actually tested. Or hold on, does GameStop test any of their games? Honestly, probably not, because they definitely do not have consoles for all these games in the back to test these things. But something to think about. We also got some random SD cards, which is interesting. It's they're marketing it as a Wii SD card for $5, but it's just a normal SD card, which you can use on any Wii. That's just, I don't, that was interesting to me. Also got a Wii for $90, which is pretty absurd. That's like double market value. Then we have some Sega Saturn games down here, some PSP games, which is kind of cool, and then actually a PS3 Slim down here and a 360 Slim. And this PS3 Slim we did buy, which I'll show you here in a minute. You can see here from this store, I don't know, just kind of garbage. Why is this called a retro GameStop if you guys are not sending inventory to the stores to stock stuff up? Just ridiculous. But yet, if you go to GameStop on Twitter, they're always all over there talking about how they're bringing back physical games. They're like, you want to buy physical? Come to GameStop. And they're like all pumping it up, but yet this is the kind of stuff they have in their retro stores. But guys, we do have one more store to show you, and it's actually a non-retro GameStop. We're going to see if the non-retro GameStop has as much stuff as the retro GameStop. But before we get into that, I'm going to go ahead and test the PS3 Slim out that I bought from the second GameStop and see if it works. But anyways, let's check this thing out, and it actually comes in a new box here that I've never seen from GameStop. And looking at the front, you can see it's a slim 160 gig. Let's open this thing up and see what's inside. All right, so we've got our control. Wait. Oh no, the controller is it's third party. Wow, that's a really close knockoff. And then of course our PS3 Slim here, and you can see on the top here, it actually looks really nice. Looks like they might have wiped it down because it's not too dirty or anything. Flipping to the bottom, we still have our warranty seal intact, and of course we're missing a couple rubber feet there, just classic PS3 things. But otherwise, yeah, this console's actually in pretty good condition. Oh, and also I got this game from Denny. He picked me up Skate 3, let's go, for 20 bucks. That sounds like it might be a bit steep, but yeah, let's plug this thing in and see if it works. All right, got a red light here. Let's see if it turns on. Okay, we got power, and I guess I'll go ahead and try to toss the game inside and see how these rollers are here. Come on, baby, and oh, that's not bad, okay. All right, guys, console is booted up, and it looks like it's actually not factory, wait, it's not factory reset. It's still got some stuff on here. That's funny. Yeah, we got Brian's profile still on here, which is like, that's okay with me because it's interesting to explore, but you would think GameStop should be resetting this stuff. Let's see what version we're on. So 4.84, got 160 gigs, and is our, yeah, games showing up there. We'll try to boot it up here in a second, but we also have some messages here from the guy who's on here, dude. Can't believe GameStop left this on here. Well, let's go ahead and boot this thing up. All right, it's installing the game data, which means it's reading the disc. That means it works. This console does work, better condition than most of the refurbished stuff. So guys, next up is the third GameStop, which is a non-retro store, so not marketed as a retro store, but you guys are about to be surprised because, first of all, look at this. We got some 360 games here. Not a ton, but we have a little shelf here, so we do have some retro stuff there in terms of 360. I don't think we have a whole lot of anything interesting. It's like Game Party. We got Forza Motorsport 3, Battlefield 4, Call of Duty World at War, but they do have 360 games. And then here, guys, look at this. Look at this. We got PS3 and PS2 games. So like, what? This is a non-retro store, right? Like, why do they have retro stuff? I don't understand the delineation here between retro stores and non-retro stores. But looking at the PS3 games, you can see they got Call of Duty, we got Guitar Hero, Injustice, Gran Turismo 5. Again, nothing crazy, but they do have some retro games here. Guys, scrolling over to the PS2 section here, I think there's actually more PS2 games here than there were at either of the first two GameStops that are actually considered retro, which is just wild. But yeah, let's go on to the next one, and we actually have a lot of 3DS here, which is more 3DS than I think we had at either of the other stores. Like, at least, now all of these are for the most part loose. There's one game here, Tales of the Abyss, that's not loose, which is not surprising for 3DS. These games, people just like throw the cases away. We also have a few Wii U games here. Oh, we got some GameCube games actually here. I didn't even notice that. And also just a handful of Wii games as well. And next up, we have some like retro games. Like, you got some PSP games here. Two more than the first GameStop had. The first GameStop had no PSP games at all. We also have 6 Game Boy Advance games here, which the first two GameStops did not have at all. And again, this is a non-retro store. The first two were retro stores. I hope I'm not confusing you, but it's confusing me because it doesn't make sense. But guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know down below if you've been to a retro GameStop recently and what you found. But again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.